So Mike Daniels said in an interview that he would love to come back to the Green Bay Packers. I had no idea, except for the 500 DMs I got asking to do this video, and now I'm doing it. Are you happy? Grossi Posse Packer Nation! Welcome to an episode of Packcast, the podcast where you don't have to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I'm your host, Tom. Should we still bring back aging players? Is it just scratching a nostalgia itch? Or is there an actual need? Clay Matthews, Jordy Nelson, Mike Daniels, Tramon Williams. Are we just holding on to yesteryear in an attempt to reclaim our youth, our vibrance, to make us feel young again? Grossi, and today we are going to be talking about, should the Packers bring back Mike Daniels? Before we get to that, I want to do a big shout and thank you to a brand new patron over at patreon.com/TomGrossiComedy. We got Sandro B. Thank you very much for your support. It is much appreciated. Now, let me get this out of the way first. I love Mike Daniels. I love him. I love the enthusiasm. I love the character, and I love the leadership that he brought to the locker room when he was there. And he was a damn good football player, too, obviously going to the Pro Bowl in 2017. On top of that, one of my favorite training camp memories will always be there is this guy, I want to say he was in a construction helmet, who had a Mike Daniels jersey on. And as Mike Daniels was coming in from riding the bike, he saw that guy, and that guy saw him, and he was like, Mike, he's like, that's what I love to see, and that was a really cool moment. So yes, I love Mike Daniels. Now, putting my love aside for Mike Daniels, I want to look at this as realistically and as practically as possible. So Mike Daniels is currently 31 years old. He has not played a full season since 2016. Now, I mentioned in 2017, he did go to the Pro Bowl. He only missed a couple games because of a hamstring issue. But in these previous 2 years, it's been pretty rough when it comes to the injury bug. So in the past 2 years combined, here are his stats. He's played 19 games in 2 seasons, only 11 of them starts because of a foot injury. In those 2 years, he had 1 pass defended, 3 sacks, 28 combined tackles, 3 for a loss, and 7 QB hits. Now, obviously, his production is definitely going to take a dive if you're only playing 19 games in the past 2 years, but that's a major concern. And so the question becomes of why do you want to bring back Mike Daniels and what are you going to use him for? Now, in the interview, he said, I'd definitely love to come back to Green Bay. Obviously, he started his career here, and he's saying that that year away gave him, some extra character boost, going to the Lions. They're a hungry team. He can then bring that back. He said he doesn't need to be as much as a leader anymore because you have guys like Jair Alexander, Zadarius Smith, etc. And so he can just be one of those guys that just is there to produce. He doesn't have to worry about, putting that entire defense on his shoulders. Now, there's no way that he's coming in as a 3-down guy. If anyone thinks that, I'm sorry, that's just not the case. He would definitely be coming in as a rotational guy and potentially giving some breaks to a guy like Kenny Clark, who's really the only one on the line right now that we're interested in. And on top of that, he would be pretty damn cheap. Coming off an injury-ridden season, we obviously released him last year before he signed with the Lions, and they apparently tried to trade him, but they just couldn't. And so Mike Daniels was a casualty of the cap, and the injury was obviously not attractive to other teams. Now, who else we have on the line right now? You have Montravius Adams, who we talked about recently, a former 3rd-round pick in 2017, has not produced at all. Really has not done a great job. Recently got arrested, but I honestly don't care about that. He's probably not going to face any serious charges or miss any playing time. But he also has a legit chance of getting cut because of his lack of production. On top of that, you have Tyler Lancaster, who could be very hit or miss. You have Kenny Clark, who's due to receive a crap ton of money. We got Gerald Willis over from Miami. We got Trayvon Hester, who we just picked up. And on top of that, we also have Kiki. Do you love me? These young guys who are chomping at the bit, there are a lot of people who are expecting Kiki to make that jump. 5th-round draft pick, gonna see a lot more opportunities this year. And if he's going to produce for this defense, now is definitely the time to do it. But on top of that, there aren't really any significant answers on the line. And obviously, we could move players that we currently have on the team to the inside. But honestly, from my standpoint, this is one of those signings that I'd be like, okay, Like, I wouldn't hate it, but I wouldn't love it, because I think that he would be a upgrade to some of the guys that we have as a rotational guy, but I don't think he's also the solution to our run defense. So the only reason I would entertain this is because he's going to be cheap. He's going to sign a cheap contract if he comes back to the Green Bay Packers. At the same time, though, I don't want to take away opportunities from a guy like Kiki. And then these other guys, I mean, they are completely hit or miss for me. Lancaster and Adams really haven't done a whole lot. Then you have Willis and Hester, who I really don't have high hopes for. I feel like they're just bodies to compete in training camp. So for me, I understand why people would want to bring back Mike Daniels. I'm kind of okay with it either way. But the real truth is that we need somebody to step up on that line. Kenny Clark cannot do everything, no matter how good he is. We need a guy like Kiki or one of these outliers to step up, or we're going to have a problem. Because even if we do sign Mike Daniels to a cheap contract, he's not going to immediately fix our run defense, and it's going to just be a band-aid to a gaping wound that we currently have when it comes to our run defense. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. Do you want to bring back Mike Daniels? Or on top of that, otherwise phrase it, would you rather bring back Mike Daniels or a guy like Clay Matthews or guys like Tramon Williams? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. You can always find me at TomGrossiComedy.com or at TomGrossiComedy on all social media seen down below. Check out Patcast on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify, and of course YouTube. And a big shout and thank you to all the Patreon members over at Patreon.com/TomGrossiComedy. But thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. And as always, go Pack Go.